Hello, hello, hello. Alrighty, so I am indeed live, and I am indeed waiting for some people to get in here. Um, like I said, I'm just waiting for a couple people to get in here. Hi, Mama. If you're here, say hi. Let me know that you're here. That would be nice. Sorry, my laptop's a mess. It's springtime school, so I kind of gotta like. So there are two people here now. Just waiting for a little bit more to get here. Are you back in your own room? Yeah, I've been back upstairs in my own room for a while now. It is indeed finally here. I'm so happy to be back up in my own room. It just faced other problems now. So this update is crazy on its own, and it's a lot to talk about. So I'm going to be here for a while. If you want to just check back in a little while or watch it in little itty bitty parts, feel free to message or ask any questions like along the way, because I like to respond to you guys, especially if you have any questions, Mama, because it is difficult to understand just hearing it once. So hopefully just responding to a few messages, hoping that some other people get in here. That way I can explain some things. Like I said, I really do appreciate questions along the way. They do help when people need answers, and I try my best to give them. But the problem with that is, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. My head pressure is really high today. How am I doing? Whew. I'm doing pretty bad. Pretty poor. Not sleeping. I can't sleep. I'm in so much pain and I'm in agony and it just hurts. It's hard. It's hard to eat anything and keep it down, so I've been struggling with getting sick. I have been through quite a bit. I would imagine that it will get easier once I get a spinal tap and maybe get some of this extra fluid out. But as of right now, it is indeed quite hectic. I can't think straight, and therefore, usually I can't speak. I'm just curled in a ball, like applying pressure to my head like this. And that's not a way that anybody should have to live, like, especially not being able to sleep and being in so much pain, and then on top of it, like, chronic fatigue. So you go between being chronically fatigued, which is basically an exhausted pigeon, to being an insomniac, which is basically like never sleeping. So I'm either sleeping for 20 hours straight or I'm up for 2 days. There's no in between. Um, any idea when you're getting it? No, I have to make that appointment, and I haven't been able to make that appointment because my head has been killing me so bad for at least 3 weeks now that I've not been able to do anything. It's quite rough. I've just been literally laying down, tucked into a ball. Um, so yeah, it's been really rough. I've been trying really, really hard. Uh, but I'm in agony with obviously no pain meds and nothing else for me to really do, but just kind of sit here and hope that it gets better, the pressure. Um, there is an update, a couple updates actually, that I haven't talked about. They're new updates, and this being new information towards everybody else, I have been um, going to the heart doctor, to a cardiologist. Um, and this cardiologist, Bree, I miss you, boo. Really miss you, mutt. So I've been to the cardiologist, and they put me in a heart monitor, and then I went for an echo, and it turns out that my heart's perfectly healthy, but it's not, if that makes any sense. They said that my heart beats twice as fast as a normal person. So when I'm resting, my heart rate is 120 or 110 to like 160 beats per minute. And when I'm working out, it goes up to like 200 beats per minute. So we're not quite sure what did it and what happened along the way, but that's basically where I stand with that. Uh, that was kind of crappy to hear, to be fair. That was kind of really to hear, to be fair. I never thought that I would have any kind of heart problems, and I thought that the big thumping in my chest was normal all my life, I guess, or for as long as I could remember it, it was normal. Um, apparently it's not. So that's a new update on my heart. It's healthy, but yeah, I'm that one quote unquote rare case. I'm getting really tired of hearing that, by the way. I'm the one quote unquote rare case that my heart just goes faster than a normal human's for absolutely no reason. So, my heart doctor is, well, I go to see him on Wednesday, and I guess we're going to decide what to do from there. So, there's still more news to that to wait for. Um, so, pretty much, I've spent my days curled up in a ball in a lot of pain. Um, honestly, just wishing that things, would just turn around. It's kind of difficult. Um, I really, 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 really wish that things would turn straight around. But that is what it is. as for my fibromyalgia is pretty wicked. Still, I still take my meds, and I still do basically a morning regimen where I have to talk myself to get up. I have to give myself pep talk to like move and everything else like that. Everything hurts, so that is a expectation for me already. Like there's nothing that I do that won't hurt. But like I said, there's nothing that I do that won't hurt. I'm sorry that I'm trailing off. My mind is not working right, I guess. I don't The head pressure is so much, it feels like somebody's just like grinding inwards on my brain. And it's causing me such agony that I am trying really hard to talk to you guys to give you an update, but it is very, very difficult. Um, let's see. So, I guess we'll go towards the neurological side. Yeah, I'm daydreaming without meaning to. Uh, I literally I set up an appointment at Johns Hopkins with a neurologist, which is great. They're taking on my case. But I was looking at a whole bunch of clinical trials, and I saw one that the doctor was talking to me about. It's called a stent that they would put up in my venous stenosis. Uh, both of my venous stenoses are very, very, very narrowed and closed off, which is what's causing the pseudotumor, which is basically uh, having the symptoms of a tumor without a tumor. It pressurizes your head, and basically, it's called IIH, and mine being so narrow, it's caused the pressure problems, and it's probably 5 times worse than a migraine. So I've been dealing with that for at least 3 weeks now. That it's just not giving up. It's never ending. Um, uh, I For the neurology side, they're gonna eventually assign me um a doctor, which is gonna be great, and hopefully that this doctor will be understanding. And uh I do not fit the normal case of pseudotumor. I'm not obese, and I am not in my mid 30s or 40s. So just little old me. Also, update, I did turn 23 recently, uh, and I find it absolutely insane. But they're the two. There's another one. Sorry, my mind's all over the place. Uh, Another update is that thanks, Brie. Another update is that my optic nerves are looking really good. The last time I had them checked, they said that there was no swelling behind them, which is great. Because pseudotumor can cause a lot of swelling and blindness. Um, uh, let's see. Does anybody have any questions? Well, I guess I'll let you guys think of the questions, and as I go down a list, um, sorry, it's a really, really hard day. This is one of the things that I've been talking about with the not being able to think straight, and it's called brain fog. I just can't. I don't know how to put it. I just physically can't. Um, while everybody's thinking of some questions, I that did make me smile, Brie. I would love to like have coffee with you in the kitchen again or tea with you in the kitchen again. It's okay, Snow. You don't have to stress out or anything. Um, so yeah, I did smile at that. Um, so let's talk about the problem after the problem, if you know what I mean. Just because I'm fully healed now from my surgery, my emergency surgery when I went into septic shock and was on death's door. I am healed from that, but I'm not mentally healed. Um, it's a big taboo to talk about mental awareness and medical and how sick you are, but I don't want this to be a taboo. I want people to realize that it's okay to talk about it, especially to other people. You know, if they're going to judge you on that for your self-image of what you can't control, then they don't deserve to be your friend. Yeah, break the fourth wall of problems. Yeah, there's a problem after a problem. Um, ever since my emergency surgery and me going into septic shock, I've been having really bad night sweats and night terrors. I'll wake up screaming, no, I have pain in my stomach still, and I can't go near a hospital without breaking down. And I can't I've really been putting off going to get my blood done, my blood panels, which I need done. I've really been putting those off because I'm so terrified. And I guess it's okay to be terrified if you've been through what I've been through, but I know I have to do it to adult, but I need just like not to freak out about these things. I need my body to stop torturing itself, basically. So there's been some fun misadventures with that. That's just been great. Lemony Snicket's series of unfortunate events, only kitties. Yes, that is story of my life. Um, so I have headphones on. They're not actually connected to my computer. They're connected to my phone. Uh, one of the other things that I have all the time is this whooshing in my head and a really, really loud ringing all the time. So I have headphones on a lot to kind of counteract that. I blast music, and that kind of lets me focus on something else to drown out the ringing. But the moment that I take the headphones off and it gets silent, then it starts ringing and whooshing, and I can hear my heartbeat in my head again. It's so I just cover it up. Please go do it. Yeah, Mama, you said the same thing that my mom did. She said, "Just go do it," but it's harder than that. It's harder to I can't explain it. It's just like it terrifies me. Like the fact that I'm gonna walk into this setting and then I'm gonna give my arm out again like I did when I was in the hospital going through septic shock. The idea of having a flashback like that out in public, it absolutely wrecks me. I can't. I want to be able to, but it's really difficult. It's really, really hard. It's not something that I feel like I should be going through, but I am. And if anything, I think it's stupid. I think it's so stupid that I react this way and that I feel this way. I feel like it's so stupid that I'm sick and I can't avoid it. So yeah, there goes that news, which is great. Also, get your flu shots if you're going to be around me because I am not allowed to get a flu shot. I rely on herd immunity. So, get your flu shots. Help people who are immunocompromised like me. I wish talking helped for me personally. Talking doesn't really help, which is something that I guess it's always just been. If somebody just talks to me and say it's going to be okay, it's not going to change my heart and it's not going to change my emotions. It's not going to make me feel any better. So for me, words have always been words, but if it turns out okay, that's a completely different thing. Um so that's like I said, that was definitely another one. Um I don't think that, well, I'll put it this way. I won't take what I have for granted now based off what I've been through even then. Um, for me, it's like, oh, the sun is out, my curtains are closed because I can't stand the radiation from the sun, so I get sunsick. Um, so I spend most of the day away, hiding in my room, and when the night comes, then I go out. Sometimes, if I'm well enough, if my head is well enough. Uh, so for me, a personal update like this, it's been hell in a handbasket, I'll put it that way. I wish things were better off for me, I'll put it that way. But you have to make do with what you have. It's like I'm not afraid of the needles for going to get my blood panels. It's not the needles. It's the flashback that I know that's going to be triggered. So, for me personally, it's that feeling I guess I associate with like feeling like death. And they just did so much. Like they took so much blood from me that all I remember from being in the hospital was feel like death and getting blood drawn. It was feel like death, get blood drawn, wake up at 5 a.m., blood drawn. Oh, midday rounds, blood drawn. Oh, here's some cultures that we need that are huge jar cultures that we need. We need to take 4. Oh, blood drawn. So it's kind of like I worry what it will trigger because the last thing I want to do is have a breakdown in public because I'm being haunted by almost dying from septic shock. So those are my updates, pretty much. But this is why you're a vampire. Yes, this is why I'm a vampire. My autoimmune disease is, well, it just is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is, and so I stay out of the sunlight and I try to eat healthy and avoid the things that I shouldn't have. I wear face masks in public so I don't get sick, and if I forget them, I definitely get sick. Um, Going to the doctor's appointments that are never ending. And at this point, I'm gonna have so many medical bracelets because there's not gonna be enough room on one. Like, I'm gonna have to have at least 2 leather cuff bracelets because everything that I have to put on it to warn EMTs or anybody that's a first responder that they need to know, like, "Wait, I was at the hospital and no one told. I need a pager for these soul appointments." Pretty much. Um, so anyways, I was looking into some clinical trials, and the stent looked promising, but again, it's clinical trial, and all the other people that have had it done, they're perfectly healthy besides their pseudo tumor. They don't have what I could have, which with my autoimmune disease being undifferentiated connective tissue disease and it mocking other connective tissue diseases or lupus or MS, and it takes a little bit from each of those other ones sometimes and puts it together. It could be carrying another deadly autoimmune disease, which would, if they went in to put the stent in that artery or that vein, the surgeon told me that if they ruptured it because I have fragile anything to do with connective tissue because it might be linked to my autoimmune disease, I could bleed out on the table if they rupture that. And they said there'd be nothing they could do to stop me and help me. So it's like, what kind of testing can you do to make sure you don't have that? On top of the complications, it's come more complicated and more complicated. Before they were willing to do anything, they had to check out why my heart was beating fast. And it turns out my heart is healthy, but it just beats twice as fast. They still don't like that answer. So it's give and take. Um, you win some, you lose some, and I'm still searching. Oof, Kelly. Jesus. Fucking oof. Um, so for the update, I've been in agony for at least 3 weeks now. Just kind of tucked into a ball, curled up. Whenever my pressure gets really high, all my veins come out over here. The ones that lead down to here. You can see them in my neck going up to here, over my cheeks. Whenever I get angry, all my veins pop out, but whenever my head pressure is high up, all my veins pop out then too. So, are there any questions on anything that I've said? You can ask me anything and I will answer. Are we just gonna have a stare down? Um, why is the sky gray? Um, theoretically, it could be the river exactly what it is. Do I scientifically know exactly why it is? I do not. So I could be outside. If by chance it is raining and it is completely gray and muggy out, yes, I can go outside during the daytime. Too cold for that shit. Yeah, it does get really cold. Alberta's PA trying to get us. Hey, Ethan. So basically, I've just gone over like everything that is up to date now with all my medical stuff. Clinical trials would be I want to know what everybody else thinks about that stent and, what I said about the procedure on how I could bleed out on the table if I have an autoimmune disease that's connected to the one I do now, which we're not sure. I'd need to go through a hell of a lot more testing, but they said that there was hardly any testing to determine if that's actually a thing. So I would really appreciate it if everybody gave me their opinions because I am pretty unsettled by having three surgeons, especially neurosurgeons, in the same room at Christiana sit there and tell me the odds are good, but with your condition and your autoimmune disease, it could bleed out on the table if we rupture an artery or a vein and we wouldn't be able to save you. You'd die. That doesn't quite sit that well with me. Yes, yes, I know. I'm a vampire. I'm not usually up during the daytime, but this is for you guys. And it's family meal night, so is there any questions that you want to bring to light for maybe people who are going through things like this? Like what do you when you guys hear about this story and you hear about me, what do you think? Like what comes to your mind? No thanks. I don't want a lobotomy. Keep looking for other options until that's the only one left. I am searching so hard, Bree, but it's really hard for me when I can't even focus straight. Um, like there's so much pressure in my head right now. It's excessively painful. Um, I'm gonna keep looking for options and keep researching some more as much as I can. I've got a lot of conditions stacked up on another, and they're all really rare, and it's stupid if you ask me. It's so stupid. What I've gone through is so stupid. Like I should have never ever 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 had to feel that way and go through those things. And my autoimmune disease we're pretty sure is what collapsed the stenosis in the back of my head, the two veins that go down. Um if any of you are curious on the stent video, I found one on a clinical trial website that I can send to you guys that would explain exactly what I'm trying to explain, but explain it better in more of a medical terminology standpoint, where you guys might get it a little bit more because it's coming from a doctor. Um, In any case, I will throw that out there, and I will also make sure that any questions you have are answered either now or later. Um, so, um, yeah, it's like a m- metal mesh wire that would expand the in the back you have two veins that go down from your brain to your spinal column for the cerebral spinal fluid and everything to go down like that. Uh, so uh, sorry, um, my two uh, are closed to the point where it's very, very, very little fluid draining, which is causing all this pressure. And that stent would open it. However, my autoimmune disease, like I said, if they rupture it, they said I would bleed out and die on the table, and there'd be nothing that they could do to help me. So that's kind of iffy on that one. How did you meet Trixie? On December 22nd, I went into the pet store and I was looking for a toy for my dogs for Christmas. And I walked past the ferret exhibit, and this little ferret thumped her head on the glass and looked up at me. And I walked 2 steps, and she ran to the other side where I was, thumped her head on the glass, and looked at me. And in the end, literally, my mom was like, "Can we hold her?" And so she just chose me, burrowed into my scarf, made a little ferret nest, and sighed contently and was licking my finger as I was holding her and petting her. I knew that I could not leave without her. Um, Snow Trixie was just like my spirit animal for some reason. She's been such a big like emotional support. Like if I feel upset and I go down there and I cuddle her, it's great. It's same with my puppy dog. If I go and I cuddle them, it's absolutely amazing. So where is Angel? Angel's downstairs. Um I put the dogs downstairs so I could give you guys a as much as I can an update on how things are going. Um However, like I said, I'm distracted enough by pain. I don't need to be more distracted by a dog right now. Um, Forgive me for my veins, which you're going to see start pulsating and throbbing. It happens when my pressure gets higher and my eye twitches, and I just start stopping in the middle of sentences because I can't think straight because it's like a jolting, shooting pain. It's that's feeling like vice grips on my head. Um, in any case, yeah, the dogs like to nurse me back to health. Um, I call Zoe Nurse Zoe because when I had my stomach incision, my stomach gash, and it was wide open, and I had to take care of it, and I had to have my mom help me take care of it. Zoe would run for the door, and she would not leave me alone, not for 2 seconds. If I walked slowly, she would follow behind me very slowly. If I walked 1 step, she walked 1 step. She is so funny. She, honest to God, nurses me back to health. It's the cutest thing ever because Zoe is so hyper, but she was so tender with me. It's like she was mommying me. It was really funny. All right. If there are no more questions, that was just a little update, and I will catch you guys later.